Very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and it is the start of a brand new week. And in the next 30 minutes, I'll be taking you through the day's biggest news stories that you might have missed during the night, and also be telling you what to expect in the day ahead, starting with the headlines. GST Council lowers the tax rates for 66 items, the relief for small businesses as country prepares for the rollout of One Nation, One Tax regime from 1st of July. Maharashtra government announces the largest ever blanket loan waiver to provide immediate relief to 31 lakh farmers. Protest called off. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan ends fast. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley to meet PSU bank chiefs today will review the situation of non-performing assets and recovery of bad loans. West Bengal government heads for a showdown with Gorkha Janmukti Morcha. GJM's indefinite shutdown begins in Darjeeling today. Mamata warns of stern action. And Macron's party set for big parliamentary win after first round of French parliamentary elections. Final outcome to be decided at a runoff. Our top story this morning, the Goods and Services Tax Council on Sunday decided to reduce the tax rates on 66 items from pickles and cinema tickets to insulin and instant food mixes as well. Now, the centre and the states also decided to ease the compliance burden for small businesses. Here are all the details.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Sunday chaired the 16th GST Council meeting in the national capital. The council has decided to reduce tax levels on 66 items against representations received for 133 items. Now the movie tickets costing 100 rupees and below will attract 18% tax as against 28% proposed earlier, while those above 100 rupees will continue to attract 28% GST. Kitchen use items like pickles, mustard sauce and murabba will attract 12% GST as against 18% proposed earlier. Also, tax rates on cashew nuts have been cut to 5% from 12%. The council also lowered GST rates on children's drawing books to nil from 12%. Computer printers will attract 18% tax as against 28% earlier. GST on insulin and agarbatti has also been lowered to 5%, while school bags will attract the tax of 18%. Tax rate on kajal has been lowered to 18% from 28%.
There would be an adverse revenue impact if other things remained equal. But we are also hoping on revenue buoyancy and a check on inflation that GST will ensure so as to make up for that loss. One of the objects and advantages of GST is that you bring the rates down, but the base expands, so you maintain the level of taxes.
The GST Council also decided that traders, manufacturers and restaurant owners with turnover of up to 75 lakh rupees can opt for a composition scheme and pay taxes at the rate of 1, 2 and 5% respectively. Earlier, the slab was 50 lakh rupees.
We were able to reduce rates of many which deserved being reduced. But perhaps the biggest win today is for the small and medium enterprises of India. We managed to get them out of all taxes below 20 lakh turnover a year. That was a big victory.
The next meeting of the GST Council will be on June 18th, when it will take up lottery taxes and e-way bill. On the issue of review of GST rate on hybrid cars, it was decided that Council will take it up after considering states' comments on a detailed paper issued on the matter earlier. The GST will roll out from July 1st. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to the other top story of the day. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will meet the heads of PSU banks today to discuss the issue of non-performing assets or the NPAs. The minister will also review the financial performance of all the public sector banks. The The Finance Minister will discuss the steps being taken by the banks to expedite the recovery of bad loans which have crossed 6 lakh rupees. Now, apart 6 lakh crore rupees, I beg your pardon. Well, apart from the financial performance review, the meeting will also take stock of the status of stressed assets and various measures taken to clean up the balance sheets of banks so that they can start lending. Other issues on agenda include discussion on financial inclusion as well as literacy, review of performance of social security schemes, including the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana. The day-long meeting will also cover areas like cyber security, digitalization of banking transactions, rural development, agriculture credit and education loans. Now, big story coming in from Maharashtra in a big relief to farmers in the state. The state government on Sunday announced a loan waiver and directed to form a committee to decide the criteria for debt relief. Now, following the announcement, the farmers' leaders in the state called off their protests but said that if the decisions were not implemented, then the agitation will restart next month. Now, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had on Friday announced the formation of a 6-member committee to look into the various demands of the farmers, including that of loan waiver. Now, the state farmers had been on a strike since 1st of June, demanding higher price for their produce as well as loan waiver. The 11-day strike had hit the milk and vegetable supply in the state.
किसानों की अल्प भूधारक और मध्य भूधारक की कर्ज माफी इसके पहले माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय ने घोषित की। किसानों की ये मांग थी कि सारे किसानों को यह मिले। आज सरकार ने सारे किसानों की कर्ज माफी कुछ निकषों के आधार पर तत्वता मान्य की। निकष तय करने के लिए एक समिति का निर्माण होगा जिसमें किसान संगठन के नेता भी रहेंगे और सरकार के नेता भी रहेंगे और उस समिति के निकषों के सहमति के बाद वो कर्ज माफी मान्य होगी।
जो छोटे किसान है, स्मॉल एंड मार्जिनल फार्मर है, उसको हम मदद करेंगे। इसकी घोषणा तो 8 दिन पहले हो चुकी थी, कोई जीआर अभी तक निकला। तो शासन जो कहती है उसका अमल करना है तो गवर्नमेंट का जीआर बहुत जरूरी है। तो जब तक जीआर इशू नहीं होता है, गवर्नमेंट रेजोल्यूशन या शासन का आदेश जब तक जारी नहीं होता है, तब तक ये सिर्फ बातें हवा में कहने वाली बातें हैं। मैं तो समझता हूं कि हम सरकार पे विश्वास कैसा करें कि जब तक उसको पूरे अमल करने के बारे में सरकार का आदेश जब जारी होगा तभी सच्चाई इसकी सामने आएगी।
Meanwhile, in the ripple effect, farmers in Punjab have decided to launch a statewide agitation to press for a debt waiver as well as the implementation of Swaminathan Commission's report. 7 farmer organizations will stage sit-ins at all the district headquarters of the state. Now, farmers in the state have been demanding for debt waiver from the Congress government since it came to power. Pro-Corona organizations have also called for Karnataka Bandh today to press for their charter of demands, including farm loan waiver. Meanwhile, with no fresh case of violence, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan called off his fast for farmers. Now, before ending his fast, the Chief Minister reiterated that peace in the state has been restored now and those involved in the deaths of farmers will be punished severely. The Chief Minister, reacting on the situation and reaching out to the cultivators, also met a 15 delegation of small farmers and 236 panel of big farmers on Sunday. The delegations pressed for a loan waiver and satisfactory price for their produce. Now, Shivraj Singh Chauhan had launched his indefinite fast for peace restoration yesterday amid the farmer protests that were gaining heat in western Madhya Pradesh. The political blame game over the farmers issue, however, continues, with the Congress party calling Chauhan's act as a drama and said that in spite of such tactics, the condition of the farmers remain unchanged.
मैं मूल्य स्थिरीकरण कोष बना रहा हूं 1000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से। मूल्य स्थिरीकरण कोष मतलब ये कोष क्या करेगा? दाम अगर गिर गए तो दाम को थामने की कोशिश करेगा। सरकार हस्तक्षेप करेगी।
All right, my colleague Ravinder Singh Shuran is joining us live from Mandsaur, which had been the epicenter of the farmers' protest. Ravindra, a very good morning. We understand that peace now has returned to Mandsaur and apart from a curfew in few areas, it is more or less peaceful now, and the Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has also called off his fast. So can we expect a complete peace to be restored in Mandsaur?
Yeah, good morning, Aishwarya. Peace has already arrived here in Mandsaur. At least some of the parts where it was very sensitive area, the curfew in the night is still going on. But almost in rest of the part, the peace is already prevailed. The Chief Minister himself, who was sitting on the fast, has also decided to call off. But the farmer leaders and the farmers who has been spearheading the whole agitation here in Mandsaur and the Madhya Pradesh, they are still not convinced and with this with the Chief Minister's fast. They have been saying that this is the suo moto action of the Chief Minister and it has nothing to do with the farmers' demand. The farmer here, they are still demanding that they are still saying that they will continue with the proposed agitation which was decided in a meeting of the 62 different organizations of the farmers in New Delhi yesterday, and they will continue with the same proposed plan, and they will block the highways on 16th, and the nationwide agitation will be launched from that day. Farmers, which they have been demanding here is that the Swaminathan Commission's report should be implemented in toto, and this is the promise which was made by the Prime Minister when he was elected as the Prime Minister. When he was elected as the leader of the party or the Prime Minister candidate by the BJP, while addressing a mammoth rally in Jharkhand, he promised to the farmer that the Swaminathan Commission's report will be implemented in toto. But despite of 3 years has been passed, and the Chief Minister, who is on the helm of affairs in this state for the last more than a decade, this Commission's report has not seen the light of the day. The Commission's main recommendation, the major recommendation, is the demand of the farmers. They have been saying that the MSP should be reviewed and 50% of the benefit of the input cost should be granted, should be given to the farmers. Also, the health benefits also should be given. The pension scheme should be implemented. The National Rural Health Missions should be also implemented in those hotspots of the suicide where the farmers has been committing suicide, that belt. These are the demands which the farmers has been continuously agitating for. But despite of all this, the center government and the state government, they have said it categorically many times that this is not possible for them, at least now, to implement all the recommendations of the Swaminathan Commission's report. But the center government and the state government, they have been saying that they have some of the recommendations has already been.
All right, so definitely peace may have returned to Mandsaur because of the imposition of curfew, as well as the Chief Minister calling off his fast. But it seems the farmers are still not satisfied. They're saying that there's still demands that need to be met. Thank you so much, Ravindra. You keep tracking all those developments in Mandsaur. We'll keep coming back to you. Meanwhile, on to the other restive area, Darjeeling, and the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha has called for an indefinite shutdown of the government and the Gorkha Land Territorial Administration offices in the hills from today. Now, along with the one, that has also revived its demand for a separate state for Gorkhas, forcing the administration to announce tough steps to tackle an unrest. Now, educational institutions, hotels, shops and establishments and transport have been exempted from the purview of the Bandh. Now, the GJM has said that the banks will be allowed to operate only on Monday and Thursday. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has issued an order that all of the government offices will remain open in Darjeeling and Kalimpong as well, and has also made it mandatory for the employees to attend work. A day before the shutdown, GJM Supremo Bimal Gurung has advised the tourists to leave the hills because of the possibility of untoward incidents. Meanwhile, Bimal Gurung has written a letter to Home Minister Rajnath Singh mentioning that GTA has failed because of the high-handedness of the state government. All right, let's get some more details on that story. Akhilesh Suman is joining us live from Kolkata now. A very good morning, Akhilesh. Now, the West Bengal government and the GJM are in collision course with the GJM calling for an indefinite shutdown today. But Mamata Banerjee also issuing a stern order.
Yeah, right, Aishwarya. This is a really very sad story of this Darjeeling Hill areas when everyone wants to come to this school place in this summer. So, Mr. Gurung, who is the head of GTA, he has told that this is Mr. Mamata Banerjee who has forced this type of situation. And he told that the Gorkha land demand has started because of the adamant attitude of Mamata Banerjee. And, he has called the meeting of all political outfits who are active in this hill areas. But this is also very remarkable that no party, either it is Gorkha population-based party or parties like CPIM or Congress, no party has given any assent that they will join this meeting on June 13. So this is the story of Mr. Gurung, who is also isolated in his own area, that people are suffering from this whole isolation from tourism sector at this point of time when they can benefit the most in this season. And also on the other side, Mamata Banerjee, the Trinamool Congress is not talking to any other political party in West Bengal so that an amicable solution can be reached out and some party can negotiate between Gorkha Janmukti Morcha and Trinamool Congress or the West Bengal government. Even if BJP is not on board, what step has to be taken in this situation? So you understand that when it first broke out, the army was deployed and center, I think, willingly helped Mamata Banerjee out so that situation doesn't become worse. But it will be $1 million question that what will be the attitude of center, because this agitation is not only Bengal based. It has repercussions on the center-state relationship, and also if the state demand for new state comes up, it is the center also who has to take a call other than the state government. So situation is going from bad to worse, and it is becoming complicated in fight between Trinamool Congress leader Mamata Banerjee and Gorkha Janmukti Morcha leader Mr. Bimal Gurung. Aishwarya.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for getting us all those updates from Darjeeling there. Let's move on in the bulletin now. Pakistani troops resorted to firing and shelling along the line of control and international border in Rajya and Samba districts of Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday, prompting the Indian troops to retaliate. Now, Pakistan Army initiated firing of small arms, heavy automatics and mortars along the LOC Naushera sector in Rajouri district. In another ceasefire violation, Pakistani Rangers started firing on forward BSF posts in Ramgarh sector in Sambal district along the international border. Now, during the exchange of fire, Pak Rangers also fired a few small mortar shells. Meanwhile, there was no loss or damage so far. On the other hand, the Indian Army successfully eliminated 5 militants and foiled infiltration bids by militants within the past 3 days in Jammu and Kashmir's Uri sector. Now, huge cache of arms and ammunition have been recovered from them, in addition to body-fitted IEDs with a timer mechanism.
5 hardcore foreign terrorists have been eliminated and large quantity of warlike stores has been recovered. These terrorists tried to infiltrate into the Uri sector by exploiting the thick jungles on the line of control in the night time. So far, in the search operations, huge quantity of arms and ammunition has been recovered, which includes 5 AK-47, 2 under-barrel grenade launchers, large quantity of explosives, combat dresses, incendiary material, eatables with Pakistan markings, and uniquely body-fitted IEDs with timer mechanisms.
Now, Home Minister Rajnath Singh will chair a meeting on Indo-Myanmar border issue in Aizawl today. Now, the meeting is likely to discuss the status of border infrastructure along the Indo-Myanmar border and the implementation of border area development program projects. He will also review the status of streamlining the free movement regime for better facilitation of movement of people across the border. The Chief Ministers of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram are expected to attend the meeting. Along with the Chief Secretaries, the DGPs and the Director General of the Assam Rifles and other senior officials are due to attend the meeting. News from down south, and O. Paneerselvam, the leader of the AIADMK's Amma faction, has dissolved the 7-member committee that he had set up for the merger with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy's faction. Now, Paneerselvam announced this at his rally in Thiruvallur district on Sunday. The OPS camp, which presently has 12 MPs and 11 legislators, also said that the EPS faction has not honoured their demands of expelling party chief V.K. Sasikala and her nephew TTV Dinakaran. The committee was formed on 21st of April but had not met that even once with the other faction. He said that he was being forced to come up with such an announcement as he has been tolerating all kinds of irresponsible statements from the opposition's camps. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we have all the international and sports news. Stay tuned.
The splendid, grand and massive neo-Buddhist copper dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It gets its influence from stupa at Sanchi. The dome is more than twice the height of the rest of the building. The reinforced concrete shell of the outer dome began to be formed during the beginning of 1929. The last stone of the dome was laid on April 6, 1929.
Thanks for staying with us. So let's get to the top international story. And French President Emmanuel Macron's party has stopped the first round of voting in parliamentary elections, putting him on course for an overwhelming majority to implement his program of ambitious reforms. Clearly, Macron is continuing to impress the French a month after being elected as the country's youngest ever president in May. Emmanuel Macron's party on course for a landslide victory following the first round of France's parliamentary elections. According to exit polls, Macron's party, Republic on the Move, and its ally Modem are all set to win up to 445 seats in the 577-seat National Assembly. If the final results show the same numbers, it will be a remarkable feat for Macron's party that was established just over a year ago and has candidates that have little or no political experience.
Je souhaite remercier tous les Françaises et les Français qui ont participé aujourd'hui au premier tour des élections législatives et particulièrement celles et ceux qui, nombreux, ont voté pour les candidats de notre mouvement.
Such a margin of victory is expected to give Macron the majority he so badly craves to further his political revolution. It is noteworthy that Macron won the French presidency last month without the support of a traditional mainstream party. It was a spectacular election victory over far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. But Macron now needs a majority to push through the changes that he had promised in his campaign. The traditional Republican and Socialist parties struggled with the turnout and criticized the French electoral system.
Les électeurs patriotes doivent donc, dans les circonscriptions où nous sommes présents pour ce second tour, massivement se rendre aux urnes dimanche. Une forte mobilisation doit pouvoir nous apporter la victoire dans plusieurs circonscriptions. Et ces victoires sont réelles.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel congratulated Macron on the great success of his party. With a huge mandate, Macron is hoping to carry out far-reaching reforms to overhaul the country's political system and economy. France is suffering from high unemployment, a stagnant economy and security worries. The final results will be confirmed next Sunday after the second round of voting. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. All right, let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. British Prime Minister Theresa May says that her government plans to deliver successful Brexit as she completed a cabinet reshuffle. May appointed her close ally Damya Green as her first Secretary of State, while Priti Patel remained the senior-most Indian origin cabinet minister. The embattled British Premier unveiled her new cabinet after shock election results forced her to form a minority government. Islamic State terrorist group leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has allegedly been killed in airstrikes in Syria, the Syrian state television reported on Sunday. The reports claim that Baghdadi was killed in the terrorist group's stronghold in Raqqa. It is not, however, the first time that the leader of Islamic State has been reported dead. Previous reports claim that he had been seriously wounded in airstrikes in northern Iraq. US President Donald Trump on Sunday accused James Comey of cowardice by leaking accounts of his meeting with the president. This comes days after ex-FBI director testified that Trump sought to derail the Russian probe. In his testimony before the Senate lawmakers, Comey said that he had asked a friend, identified as a Columbia University law professor, to release a memo of his conversations with the president to the press. Time for some sporting action, and India outplayed South Africa in their first group game of the Champions Trophy to reach the semi-finals with an 8-wicket victory. Now opting to field first, India bundled out the world #1 team for a paltry 191, courtesy a clinical bowling performance by the Indian bowlers. The Proteas were 140 for 2 at one stage, but they lost their last 8 wickets for just 51 runs. Now, seamers Jasprit Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar Kumar bagged 2 wickets each, while Ashwini and Jadeja picked up a wicket each. The defending champions were fluent in their chase despite losing Rohit Sharma early in the innings. Now, Shikhar Dhawan hit his 3rd consecutive half-century of the tournament, while captain Virat Kohli remained not out on 76 runs as India reached the target in 38 overs. Now India are likely to top the Group B, which means that they will meet Bangladesh in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, in the final Group B game today, Pakistan will take on Sri Lanka at the Cardiff today. The winner will join India in the semi-finals.
And India qualify for the semi-finals. Luckily, we got their big strikers out early, and that really helps to close the innings off. Because in the end, if you get a 50-60 run partnership, the opposition is still, in the game, and we didn't want that to happen. So, yeah, I mean, the bowlers, stuck to their lines and got us the breakthroughs when we required, and that really helps. When you chase that kind of a total down, you can take your time because the bowlers have done such a good job.
News from the Roland Garros, and Rafael Nadal created history by becoming the first man in the Open era to win a Grand Slam title 10 times as he clinched the Open title on Sunday in the men's singles final at the Roland Garros. The 4th seed Nadal was at his dominant best as he beat 3rd seed Stan Wawrinka in straight sets 6-2, 6-3, 6-1. This was Rafael Nadal's 15th Grand Slam title, and he now moves above Pete Sampras on the list of all-time Grand Slam winners into 2nd place behind Roger Federer, who is on 18. The Spaniard won the title for a loss of just 35 games over the course of 7 matches, second only to Bjorn Borg's 32 at the 1978 French Open. For Stan Wawrinka, it was his first defeat in a major final after winning his first 3. With the win, Nadal also extended his record at Roland Garros to 79 wins and 2 losses since his first victory in 2005. His only defeat came against Robin Soderling in 2009 and Novak Djokovic in 2015.
Yeah, Stan.
And Lewis Hamilton won the Canadian Grand Prix for the 3rd year in a row on Sunday to cut Sebastian Vettel's overall lead to 12 points. The Mercedes driver controlled the race from the beginning to the finish, leading Finnish teammate Valtteri Bottas, who finished 2nd. Red Bull's Daniel Ricciardo came 3rd, while Ferrari's Vettel finished 4th. Now, it was the 6th win in 10 races in Canada for Hamilton, who on Saturday equaled his hero Ayrton Senna's mark of 65 pole positions. That's it for me and my team in this edition of News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.